Turkey preparing for war, Legionnaire's disease hits Michigan, and objections against Anita Alvarez. Good evening, this is WKCC. It's February 4th, 2016. I'm Kennedy Dames. We're sponsored by Gaddy's Pizza, only the best. Starting in international news, Russia said on Thursday it suspected Turkey was preparing a military incursion into Syria. As a Syrian army source said, Aleppo would soon be encircled by government forces with Russian air support. Turkey in turn accused Moscow of trying to divert attention from its own crimes in Syria and said Aleppo was threatened with a siege of starvation. It said Turkey had the right to take any measures to protect its security. Shifting focus to the Middle East, Saudi Arabia said on Thursday it was ready to participate in any ground operations in Syria if the U.S.-led alliance decides to start such operations. As Syria said, Saudi Arabia had been an active member of the U.S.-led coalition that had been fighting Islamic State in Syria since 2014. It had carried out more than 190 aerial missions. Back in the U.S., emails between Michigan state officials show they knew about an uptick in Legionnaire's disease and that it could be linked to problems with Flint water, many months before Governor Rick Snyder said he received information of the outbreak. Snyder said in January that he had just learned about the rise in Legionnaire's cases. However, emails obtained by the liberal group Progress Michigan show Snyder's principal advisor, Harvey Hollins, was made aware of the outbreak and a possible link to the use of Flint River water last March. On the West Coast, the trial for Enrique Marquez, accused of supplying assault weapons to the husband and wife who massacred 14 people in San Bernardino, California, has been postponed until July. Marquez has pleaded not guilty to charges of lying about purchasing firearms that the pair later used for their December shooting rampage. U.S. District Court Judge Jesus Bernal, citing requests from both the prosecution and the defense for more time to prepare, moved the start of the trial from February 23rd to July 19th. In local news, Cook County State's Attorney Anita Alvarez said Thursday that she doesn't believe any mistakes were made in her handling of the Laquan McDonald police shooting case, while two Democratic challengers continue to fault her for waiting 400 days to charge Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke with murder. During an often contentious endorsement session, Alvarez defended her office working with the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office in investigating McDonald's shooting before acting on her own to issue murder charges against Van Dyke last November. On the educational front, the City Colleges of Chicago Faculty Council Thursday announced a vote of no confidence in the Chancellor's leadership, citing uneasiness with steps administrators have taken to reinvent the state's largest community college network. The decision comes after Chancellor Cheryl Hyman made several changes to the 7-campus system policies, such as increasing tuition for some part-time students and eliminating class registration 1 full week prior to the start of a semester. We'll be back with sports and weather after a word from our sponsor. Gaddy's is up before the sun, making our dough fresh in our restaurants every day. We let our special yeast-risen dough rise 3 times to achieve the perfect flavor profile. That's the way our founder did it, and that's the way we still do it, because that's how we roll. Just one more reason why Gaddy's Pizza is only the best. Gaddy's Pizza, only the best. Heading over to sports, with leading scorer Jimmy Butler on the bench nursing a sore left knee, Etuan Moore figured he'd get plenty of chances to pick up the slack for Chicago. Not only did Moore fill the scoring void created by Butler's absence, he continued to make his case to become a permanent part of the Bulls' starting lineup, something a few of his high-profile teammates, such as Butler and Derrick Rose, have already been calling for. With a look at scores, in the NHL, Buffalo beat Montreal 4-2, and Calgary dominated against Carolina 4-1, and Tampa Bay won against Detroit 3-1. Looking to our Chicago skies, today we have a high of 31 and a low of 25 with mostly sunny skies. And tomorrow we'll have a high of 32 and a low of 27 with cloudy skies and a chance of rain. And Saturday we'll have a high of 39 and a low of 31 with more cloudy skies. This has been WKCC. I'm Kennedy Dames. We are sponsored by Gaddy's Pizza. And have a great day.
headlines tonight. Saudi Arabia ready to fight, Flint water crisis boiling over, and City College's chancellor steps down. Good evening. You're listening to WKDA 88.5, the voice of Chicago. This is Mike Ruiz coming to you live on a brisk Chicago evening. Tonight's stories are brought to you in part by Gotti's Pizza, only the best. The time is 7 p.m. Let's begin with news from around the globe. Saudi Arabia said on Thursday it was ready to participate in any ground operations in Syria if the U.S.-led alliance decides to start such operations. U.S. State Department spokesman John Kirby said the coalition was generally supportive of having partners contribute more in the fight against Islamic State, but he had not seen the Saudi proposal. Shifting further east, Russia said on Thursday it suspected Turkey was prepping a military incursion into Syria, as a Syrian army source said Aleppo would soon be encircled by government forces with Russian air support. Turkey, in turn, accused Moscow of trying to divert attention from its own crimes in Syria, and said Aleppo was threatened with a siege of starvation. It said Turkey had the right to take any measures to protect its security. On the national front, emails between Michigan state officials show they knew about an uptick in Legionnaire's disease and that it could be linked with problems with Flint water many months before Governor Rick Snyder said he received information of the outbreak. Snyder said in January that he had just learned about the rise in Legionnaire's cases. However, emails obtained by liberal group Progress Michigan show Snyder's principal advisor, Harvey Hollins, was made aware of the outbreak and a possible link to the use of Flint water in last March. Staying domestic, the trial for Enrique Marquez, accused of supplying assault weapons to the husband and wife who massacred 14 people in San Bernardino, has been postponed until July. U.S. District Court Judge Jesus Bernal moved the start of the trial from February 23rd to July 19th. Marquez has pleaded not guilty to charges of lying about purchasing firearms that the pair later used for their December shooting rampage. Coming home to Illinois, Cook County State Attorney Anita Alvarez said Thursday that she doesn't believe any mistakes were made in her handling of the Laquan McDonald police shooting case, while two Democratic challengers continued to fault her for waiting 400 days to charge Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke with murder. During an often contentious endorsement session of about an hour before the Chicago Tribune editorial board, Alvarez defended her office working with the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office in investigating McDonald's shooting before acting on her own to issue murder charges against Van Dyke last November. Back in the Windy City, the City Colleges and Chicago Faculty Council announced a vote of no confidence in the Chancellor's leadership, citing uneasiness with steps administrators have taken to reinvent the state's largest community college network. The decision comes after Chancellor Cheryl Hyman made several changes to the Senate campus systems policies, such as increasing tuition for some part-time students and eliminating class registration 1 full week prior to the start of a semester. Stay tuned for news from the rink and your weather report after a brief word from our sponsor. People always ask us, why is Gotti's Pizza so much better than the big conglomerate pizzas? So over the next few months, we're finally going to show you what makes Gotti's only the best. Gotti's is up before the sun, making our dough fresh in our restaurants every day. We've had our special yeast-risen dough rise 3 times to achieve the perfect flavor profile. That's the way our founder, Colonel Muir, did it, and that's the way we still do it, because that's how we roll. Just one more reason why Gotti's Pizza is only the best. On to news from the WKDA Sports Desk. In hockey, Calgary crushed Carolina 4-1. Toronto won a close one over Boston 4-3. And our very own Chicago Blackhawks held their own against Colorado with a final score of 2-1. Looking to our blustery Chicago skies, this weekend the weather is looking frosty. We're seeing highs of 39 and lows of only 25. If you're gearing up for a night on the town, be prepared, because we're expecting snow and high winds well into the evening. Thank you for tuning to WKDA News at 7. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by Gotti's Pizza, only the best. Stay tuned for Those Were the Days and celebrate the golden age of radio. Until next time, and from everyone here at WKDA, this is Mike Ruiz, signing off.